recording. I probably should have recorded that too, but
you can say it too.
Okay.
But really quick,
yeah.
Guys, like for you guys don't know, this is Jeff. He's actually he's leading the pack over in California. He's amazing. We're so appreciative of you, Jeff, for taking your time to do this training for us. He actually just got back a couple weeks ago from GoPro with Eric Worre over in Vegas, and he put together a little training for us so we can totally like take advantage of the amazing nuggets he's going to share. So Jeff, take it away, and we're excited.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Some of you people I've seen before, some I haven't. Welcome. I went to Eric Worre's Recruiting Mastery. I've been the last 2 years. It's an amazing weekend. To understand a little bit about it, it was hatched maybe about 6-7 years ago by Eric Worre. And he wanted to do something totally different out of the box. He wanted to do training across the board, not just simple one-on-one training, but training across the board, bringing in leaders from all different businesses, not just one business. You know, like we go to Trinon events, and it's our business being shown, and that's it, nothing else. Well, the difference here is that there's over 11,000 people at the event. It is just jam-packed. They have super VIP, they have VIP, they have gold, and then they have the general admission. And no matter where you're at, you can really see, well, me, I like being up front, so I upgraded. I was gold last year. This year, I spent the money and went VIP. It was well worth it. Got to meet Eric Worre, and those of you that are rank makers, I also got to meet Ray Higdon. He was there, and that was really cool. Speakers from all different businesses. Now, of course, they don't say their businesses because you're not allowed to prospect at all. This is not a prospecting arena. If you get caught prospecting, they throw you out. No refund, no nothing. There's no prospecting, whatever. You don't know that even the speakers do not say what company they're with. So it's very, very, very straightforward and very, how do I say it? Casual in some ways, but the people that are speaking are all 6-figure earners, 6-7-figure earners. Then they have other speakers such as, let's say, we had Tony Robbins, and then Pitbull was on Saturday night. And if you're on my Facebook, I posted the Pitbull portion of it. So what I did was I put together a small PowerPoint to keep it moving so we're not here all night, because I could talk all night long about this thing. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of really neat people, but understand, it's not only from here. I met people from Sweden, from Germany, from Mexico, from everywhere over the globe, all coming to Vegas for this 3-day event. The top earner from Avon Mary Kay was there, Janice, and a couple other, big 6-figure earners. So let me break out, and I'm going to share the screen. And you should have a chat too. Chat box, because we'll be using the chat box at some point. So can you all see my, can you give me a thumbs up if you see there we go. So basically, called it GoPro, just as it is. Whoops, went a little fast there. So one of the highlights for me was on Saturday night. So it was a Friday night. Tony Robbins was there, and what Tony Robbins really talked about was more of your physical nature, how you interacted with people, how you opened up your conversation, how you did everything. So the passive, hi, how you doing, compared to building energy inside your body to draw people closer to you. So he was walking through the arena, and I imagine there's 11,000 people there. He's walking through the arena, and he gets real close to me, and he gives me that fake wave, because that's the portion he was talking about. I gave him a fake wave and a fake smile back, and then he basically turned and kissed me on top of my forehead. So I basically was kissed by the guru. The rest of the night, I was a complete rock star. Get on the monorail going back, and everybody's high-fiving me and saying, "Hey, aren't you the one that got kissed in the head by Tony Robbins?" So it was kind of like I was kissed by the guru, and it was kind of like a highlight of the weekend. But as you can see in the background, there are just tons and tons of people. The other little thing is, see the guy on the far left here, over here? That's a security force. It's the second year I've seen him here. The security force is the most hysterical thing. They chase him around the arena to protect him. It is so hysterical to watch these guys run after him. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. Basically, in essence, what Eric Worre started out time was, what is our job? Okay, this is really not a job, but we have 3 areas: sell the product, grow and expand the network. And this is what this was kind of like the base for everything for the weekend, was that we're really here to sell a product. Okay, so having an idea of what the product is and how to market it and sell it is real important. Grow and expand. That grow and expand is growing and expanding yourself. And then expanding the network is basically what we're trying to do, is we're basically trying to recruit. So the first session was really all about the basis of it. There's so much material. I could spend about 4 or 5 hours just hitting on so many topics from different people. But I'm going to keep it real simple. What is our job? Our job is to sell a product, grow and expand the network. So the end of the night, he really talked about treating it like a game. Those of us in rank makers, we have a tracker that we use. And it really turns into a game because you're really working for points. So you're really challenging yourself to get as many points as you can every single day. And if we treat it like a game, like let's say we're talking about you think about playing baseball when you were young, or playing basketball when you're young. You're not really going for anything big other than the win. And that's what we're really looking forward to doing, is trying to get to the win. And if we treat it like a game, and we treat it like we do, let's say, a basketball game, or I wouldn't say Monopoly or anything like that, but something in the realm of just a simple game, you then start taking the pressure off, because now you're working towards something. It's not trying to get a prospect, or it's not trying to get a customer. It's about, okay, let me do this and get it done. The other portion of this was, he talked about, and Ray Higdon hit on it this week too, was you're selling the product. But what is our real product? Our real product is getting the information out to somebody. So stop worrying about the actual product and worry about getting the video out, or getting the information to them. That was the real thing in terms of making it a game. How many can I see? How many can I do? What is, what reward can I give myself, or do I give a partner in the business for going out there and meeting a goal, or meeting whatever it is? And then it turns into more like a game. And that, but the real thing was, they really took away the focus from, hey, let's go out and get people, to, hey, we're going out there to see how many times we can show them the business, get them the video in their hand, get some information from them, see if they like it or not. And if not, then move on. And then the game starts to happen of, okay, that was a no. Okay, what's the next one? Yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, no. Or go through a whole bunch of negatives, go through a whole bunch of no's to get to that one yes. Okay? And the yes is the real big one. So I got a little project for you, and we did this, and some of you that are on my Facebook saw this, okay? So those of you that are not on your phone, and this is exactly what we did at GoPro. You take out your phone right now, type in this statement right here as it's written. Some of you have never commented to say hi, okay? Make sure you have the dots in there. Please do so now so I can say thank you for paying attention, okay? If you take out your phone and you do that right now, and then take a selfie and send it out, and see how many people you get back. How many people actually looked at it? My number was 15. I figured 15 people in 3 hours would do it. I had 60 in 3 hours, and I had to say thank you to 25 more people today. I've been back for almost a week now. Been back what? Got back, almost a week, and I'm still getting people saying, hey, just saying hi. So I challenge you to open your phone. Now, what I'm going to say is, as you're sitting there and you're going, oh, I don't have to do that. What it is, this is where we have, like Eric Worre said, this is where we have to grow. Somebody has told you to do something, to show you something, and you say, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it whenever. Do it now. Get it over with. Type it out. Get it done. Get it out there. And you'll find out that you're going to find more people there. I'm now like 235. I expected 15. I got 235. How many thank yous did I have to put out? I mean, I was at dinner with the VIPs, and all at the table saying thank you 50, 60 times. But it was so cool to see everybody else getting the same kind of response. So I challenge you to do this, and then let me know how it turns out. See if somebody can be my 235.
Hey, Jeff, do we want to challenge the team right now? Like, is this
Sure.
a real challenge right now?
Sure. Grab your phones.
Come on, guys. I'm not my best dressed either.
Stuff, and then I'm gonna do it right now.
Yes, you don't have to show your whole body, Mike. I know we've already seen all your pictures of the whole body. Just the face, man.
Okay.
Give a nice smile. Send it out.
How about you put a thumbs up when you're done with the post, and then we'll know.
Okay.
And then there's Liz with the perfect picture every time.
You're like my
I'm trying to get some tips from
Look at her,
Liz
she's
right
flipping
now.
her hair back and forth.
I used an existing picture. I didn't take a selfie. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter. So speaking of selfies, the first night there's this really nice looking girl sitting in front of me, and she's got one of those phones with the lights on the side, and she's taking selfies all night. And I cannot get out of this girl's picture. I photobombed every one of her selfies because she was right there. So I'm trying to move out of the way. I'm turning left and right. She goes, Martin, do you realize you were in every one of my pictures? I said, honey, I tried to get out of the picture. You had it set up perfect. Every time you took a selfie of yourself, you didn't notice I was right in the corner. So she's going to go, some guy's going to go, who's the guy staring at you all night? It was hysterical. All right, everybody ready? Everybody got it done? I can't see everybody.
I'm still doing it. I didn't want to take a selfie while I was on camera. That's just so awkward to me.
I saw you fade out.
That's like being in a room and like taking a selfie. That's like, no way.
Yeah, this is this girl did all night. She turned on a little light and took her selfie all night. She'd fix her hair and then she'd take her selfie and about 5 minutes.
Elizabeth is still taking a selfie.
I can't do it. I have the old picture. My eyebrows look crazy.
Oh, please.
I'm gonna do an old picture.
That's fine.
Okay.
No one's gonna know.
No.
Oh, me.
You're funny, baby. You want one with you? Okay.
Uh-oh. That boy is so not. He is not Photoshop. That's for sure.
Oh no. He's like, you have to do it with me. I'm like, okay. All righty.
Look at my bandy.
Okay.
All right, so we got some.
Jeff, what do you say back to them? You just say hi. What do you?
No, they say you put down that they're going to say hi, and when they respond to you saying hi, you reply thank you. And this is like they said, this is one way to start to build your list of people that on your Facebook that are actually paying attention to you. And it has nothing to do with the business. And then what you do is you either contact them, you say hi. Now you start a conversation with them. This is a real conversation starter. I mean, Liz and Mike do this really well with their little pop-ups that they put up. But those are sayings. This is something just to say hi. Then you say hi back. How you doing? What are you doing these days? Hey, you know what? Guess what? I got this little side hustle going. Any chance you might want to take a look at it? You know. But the thing is that they talked about building that relationship and getting the information out as quickly as possible. What this does is it really shows you that if you put something out there that's solid, like this is a very solid statement, and you ask for a response, you're going to get some responses. This one, if you got a whole bunch of people on there, you better learn how. I finally went to my computer and finished it because I just started copying and pasting them in there because I had like 70 to do when I got home from GoPro. I was so tired, but I said I got to finish these. And the thing is, you got to stay on top of it until it dies out completely, and you just got to say thank you to everybody. Because they may come back and start a conversation. Hey, buddy, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? There, they open the door. There's a door open there for you to just drop the nugget of, hey, I'm involved in something crazy right now. hey, I just want to take a moment to tell you about it. How about if I send you a video? No obligation. Just check it out. Bam, there's one contact right there. Another contact. Wow. Another contact.
I like 5 already. That's nice.
See? So now, close it out and don't come back till right before we're done. Because what's going to happen is you got a chance for it to just start to pop off, and you won't be in here with me. So, and that's exactly, I'm using the words that they use because it was true, man. As soon as I did it, I mean, I had like 10 in the first 10 seconds. My notification just coming off. The girl next to me is just flying. She said, blah. She went, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of battery. All right. So that's your challenge for right now. So let's move on to the next one. This was an eye opener for me. Out of 100 folks, 70% are consumers. That means they recruit 0 bodies. 20 are social enrollers. They recruit 1 or 2. And all of us probably, if you have anybody in your business, everybody has these. The 5 in retail, 3 or 5 over the life, okay? 3 or more recruits. They recruit 6 to 9 people. And 2 are super recruits, and they do 10 or above, okay? 70% of the super recruiters bring in 26 or more bodies to the program. These are stats that are out there in the network marketing business. So think of it this way. If I brought in 100 people, I might get 2 super recruiters, okay? Think of it this way. If I had 2 super recruiters that brought in 26 and they had 2 super recruiters that brought in 26 and their 2 super recruiters, plus we had all the other ones, how much money would we be making? So it's not about what they do. It's basically mining until you find those 2 super recruiters. You love, like you said, you love everybody in the group, but the numbers really tell the tale. If you have 70 people that are consumers and they're buying product, they're still great to our business. They still bring in product. The social enrollers really help us because they are truly doing a little bit of both sides. But as you move up and you get to the super recruiter, he says, so think about it this way. My number is 100. My goal is to try and bring in 100 bodies. Somewhere along the way, I'm going to get those 2 super recruiters. And he says, you may go 50 and then go back to 10 and then go 40 more and then get to 2 super recruiters and your whole thing blows up. He gave about 5 or 6 different scenarios, and a couple of them gave leg scenarios and in the same idea of looking for those 2 super recruiters and just keep going until you get to a super recruiter. So putting everybody where it is. And that brings up the next one. Oh, social media. Some of us have already done this. Do your live as soon as possible. Yes, I know. I still haven't done my live. Still trying to figure out my topic. But as soon as I have it this week, I'm going to get my live done. He says lives do more for the business in the social media avenue than anywhere else. So do the live as soon as possible. Okay. Go fast. And the next couple want to talk about expectations. They really honed in on expectations. When we're dealing with expectations, I always had expectations myself. I was going to do this. And basically, think about it. Expectations are kind of like the same as goals for us who are doing very little. Expectations are really kick in when you start getting a group. And the thing is that what Eric Worre talked about was not only setting expectations for yourself of what you're going to expect from yourself, but also setting expectations for your prospect, for your recruit, for the new associate, and then for the team member. Okay. And it's not done lightly. It's done completely verbally. This is what I'm expecting from you. And then you ask the question back, what are you expecting from me? Okay. And it's all about posture. A lot of times, I know I've not had a ton of people in the business I've been in, but people I did not set expectations for them, and that's why they don't cross the line. And he said those expectations are what keeps them from crossing the line from being out, or being in. And our goal is to try and get them to be all in. Okay, they move from social recruiter to super recruiter. Okay. And having those expectations along the way of what you're going to expect from not only yourself, but from your associate, from our members and our consumers and everything else. Then it goes down to, as you start to build, they know what's going to happen. Somebody else is going to tell them, well, this is what he will do for you. This is what he will do for you. This is what he won't do for you, but this is what he will do for you. And then as you bring those new folks in, you're setting expectation. Well, I'm going to need to talk to you every day this week because you're brand new. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I need to show you what you need to do in your first couple weeks to get going. So we're going to have constant conversations, maybe a text message, maybe a phone conversation, answer questions, so on and so forth. He says, like, a lot of your people are going to be extremely busy when they start. So if you set the expectation out, okay, at this time every day I'm going to hit you up. I just need a text message back of how you're doing or what I can do to help, or do we need to talk on the phone? If you're a phone person and we can talk for 5 or 6 minutes on the phone, I can point you in the right direction. We can get some of this in front of these people, but we kind of like get people in and then they just sit there. You set the expectations, and then you set expectations for your team as leaders come out of, this is what I need you to do. As a leader, this is what I need you to do. I need you to train on this because you're really good at that. And we'll come back to that in a little bit. Okay. We talked about the foundation rank. Well, our foundation rank really is executive now, but it's going to be moving from executive to financial consultant. So the idea is setting the game plan for each of the people to get to that foundation rank as soon as possible. Because if they hit that foundation rank, it's a little hard to say I'm out when I'm getting a Jeep. Okay. So think about it. If I can find a way to get them to the Jeep as quickly as possible using whatever products we can use to make it as easy as possible for them to get to that foundation rank, he said they're going to, again, cross that line. And as soon as they cross that line, they may not move to a super recruiter, but they could recruit just enough people that it pushes you ahead at the same time, keeping them in and keeping them in as for us, keeping them in the Jeep and keeping that Jeep payment coming in. And then they have nothing bad to say about the company. Okay, we really don't have anything bad, but you know how it goes when you don't get anywhere in the company, all of a sudden there's got to be something wrong. Well, a lot of the wrong is us, but part of it is we don't set expectations for ourselves, our prospects, and our group. And that's really what we really honed in on for about 2.5 hours of how to do that. Okay, this is something to jot in your notes. What are the qualities for your perfect recruit? What are you looking for when you're recruiting somebody? So, write it out. Okay. Now remember, that perfect recruit will probably be your super recruiter. So that is your highest expectation. And then you can start to fill in the blanks of people that you meet. He said, fill in the blanks of the people that you meet, of their qualities as they come in. And as they do personal development and they get involved, and then that you can then you will then be able to take them different steps along the way for them to be that perfect recruit. So it's not, we may find that. How many times have we found this person that we thought was really perfect and they were just horrible. They didn't do anything. They just sat around. They were just themselves. And you really didn't notice that, even though you can look at them and say, hey, man, they should be recruiting everybody. They have such a personality. But that doesn't make them our perfect recruit. Now that moves us down. But then how are we going to move them up help them to move up the ladder to be that person? Because not everybody comes in and makes $1 million right off the bat. We work our way up and we get stronger as we go. So really hone in on who's your perfect recruit. Keep that in your notes. And that's what you're really looking for, but you're not throwing anybody else away. In the end, you're looking to take that middle of the road recruit and help them build to where they are their own perfect recruit. And then when you teach them the same thing, they're going to find people like themselves and be able to lift them up. And all of a sudden they're making money and everybody's making money and everybody's happy. The next one is culture. And I didn't quite get this at the beginning, but it really came more like on Friday afternoon when they were talking about this. Are you a salesperson of the products? Are you a recruiter? Now we're all pretty much both, but when you're setting your culture, everybody's good at something. I heard somebody in here does really well with national processing. We know that Mike and Elizabeth do really well in what do you call it? Lost my train of thought. credit repair. Okay. Everybody will find their own niche. It's helping a person find their own niche in this company, because now with health and life insurance and One View and everything else, everybody's going to become good at something. So when I go out there, I like credit reporting. For me, it's easy to talk about. Okay, my credit score has gone up 100 points or so. It's easy for me to talk about that. But now we're going into health, and the health products look really solid. So there are different cultures. You're going to hone in on one or two products that you're just going to be really strong about. And if you are, then expect to be called on to really start to talk about it, because that's going to make you become better at it. But now if I come in, let's say, I think it was Greg. If Greg's really good at the national processing, because you're right in front of me, Greg's really good at the national processing. When I'm talking to him and I find somebody, hold on, I got somebody that has done this with a whole bunch of people. I want to get you in touch with them. And then that three-way call happens, and now we're cross-lining and doing everything we can to boost up the team itself. And that culture comes out, and everybody else will see that. If we leave one or two people, like right now, we have Mike and Elizabeth who are really pushing everything. If you leave them out, this is what it said, if you leave them out there by themselves, sooner or later, they're going to get burnt out. It's easy to happen. Okay. They can love it all their life, but there'll be a burnout because they know that there's other people that can be a part of it and help. If you're really good in recruiting and you're good at bringing in the bodies, that's a whole nother realm, but you still have to have the product side. So as that culture grows, we find an identity. And what is your team's identity? So when I get more bodies in mine, I will have my own team. We will have a group identity, but we'll also have a team identity where we may be, our whole group may be good at credit reporting. Okay. And we just hone in on the credit reporting. We keep pushing the credit reporting. And then I've got somebody on my team that really breaks out life insurance. I got somebody else on the big group that's really good in life insurance, and they run with it. Now we all benefit from that, but that culture and identity starts to build a team together. And then he said the other part of it is recognition. Okay, recognition, the small to the top of the thing. Tim Sale was talking about it. He says, when I find out there's a new recruit down there, I send him a book, and I sign the book and I send it to him. And all of a sudden they get the book and they go, oh my gosh, the guy that's making millions of dollars just sent me a book. And it's just those little things along the way. And those of us in rank makers that actually watch the rank makers, I mean, Ray Higdon does a great job of really honing in on recognition and saying hi and doing all this other stuff. And that's what really keeps that identity together, that, you know, if you do what you're supposed to do and you do the tracker, you're going to get a pin, or you're going to get a shirt, or you're going to get just recognized. Your name's going to end up on Facebook. How great is that? But that's what they talk about. That's your team's identity. And as we grow and do this, everybody tag teams, and it just rolls. And all of a sudden you've got this team that people don't want to leave. And that's our goal. So that was a real big thing on culture. This was a real eye opener for me. Okay. How many of you, by a raise of hands, mow your own lawn? Anybody here mow your own lawn? Okay. Okay. So how much would it cost, Greg? How much would it cost? I'm unmuting you. How much would it cost for you to get somebody to mow your lawn?
Honestly, I mow the lawn because it's therapeutic for me. So
Okay.
I actually enjoy it. But how much would it cost me? I don't know. I never even thought of that. I don't know.
About $20 a month?
But
$30 a month, maybe?
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So
30, 50.
how much is your time worth to you?
Nah. Time is everything.
Time is everything, correct? That's a great answer. I'm going to mute you up now. Okay. So if you think about it, what Eric Worre said, if I am making $1 million a year, okay? And the idea is this is when he started talking about the limiting factors in your life, okay? So Greg thinks it's therapeutic, okay? But how much is his time really worth to him? Okay. So if Greg wants to make $1 million a year, or Elizabeth wants to make $1 million a year, if I'm working 40 hours a week for 52 weeks, that's $480 an hour. Okay. So if I'm picking things to put in place of recruiting, or prospecting, or working with my team and everything else, think of it this way. If I'm making $1 million a year and I waste even a portion of this, I'm wasting $480 an hour. So now let's just say I decide I'm only going to put in 30 hours a week. Okay. Kind of jumped ahead. It wasn't supposed to. 30 hours a week. That's 560 hours a year. How about if I wasted all that time doing other stuff rather than prospecting, and now I'm making $641 an hour? Or if I'm only working 20 hours, wasting 24 hours, 20 hours a week for 50 hours, that's that's $961 an hour. Do you think you could find somebody to clean the house, or find somebody to take away something out of your life so you could prospect a little bit more? This was a slap in it. I was like, I was waiting for the black eye to come out. I was just ready to, I would feel I was getting punched in the face at this point. And if I was going 10 hours a week, I wasted 10 hours a week. That's 520 hours a year. I'm making $1,960 an hour that I'm wasting while I'm mowing the lawn or doing something that someone else could get done for me. So you have to get rid of the limiting of factors and look at the amount, the time that you're putting into prospecting and even on the, texting somebody and so on and so forth. All those work toward a goal of, let's say, $1 million a year. If yours is $2 million, even if it's $100,000 a year, it doesn't matter. But the picture is that look at the things in your life that's limiting you away from prospecting, and see if you can find a way for someone else to do it, or you do it at a time where you can't prospect. It's just adjusting your time to where you're getting. Now, what would happen if you were making $1 million a year? How different would your life be? Okay. So that was a real big factor for me. Okay. So now he talked about something. This was another slap in the face. How do you know if you're going in the right direction? He says, Eric Worre says, well, the first thing I do when I meet with somebody is I ask them to see their calendar. Okay. And he said, I have one of his stories was, he says, well, I don't have an actual calendar. I use my phone. Well, give me your phone. Let me pull out your calendar. And the calendar there was hardly anything in it. He says, so where is the rest of this? You tell me that you want to make this much money, but there's nothing in here. There's nothing in this calendar. There's no goals. There's nothing written down. There's nothing. Well, it's all in my head. Well, your head's not going to do it. Your physical calendar, will it be on your phone and that? What does your calendar look like? Is your calendar full, or is your calendar empty? And it was a real slap in the face, because I opened my calendar was empty. It's a little fuller this week and last week than it was, and it's hopefully going to continue to grow. So my calendar is jam-packed with stuff business-wise to do. So understand that. The other thing he talked about, and see, and I can tell this from a story because some of you know it. I'm at the end of my dissertation. I'm hopefully going to be a doctor soon. It's been a very long road. But last year I went to GoPro, and I was really trying to get back in the business. Okay. And when I was there, Eric Worre said it both years. So did Tony Robbins and a couple other people. If you've got something holding you back from your past that you know that you need to get done, then you've got to get it done, or the business will never fly. Well, I'm getting close to be done, and now my business is starting to pick up this week. Okay. But the bottom line is, when I went to GoPro the first time, I had 0 pages written for my dissertation. I got fired up there. I got put in the right direction. I filled up my calendar with what I needed to do, and I got my goals down for it, and I flipped the script. And in a year, I wrote 150 pages. Okay? It's no different than the business. When you make the decision and you set your goals and you set everything up, then you take that step across the line and say, I'm going to get it done. And all of a sudden, now it's almost done. It's no different. You got to cross that line. Some of us haven't crossed that line. I'm taking the step across that line. Some of the people in the group have already crossed that line. I'm all in, but I'm only all in terms of the business, not of what I'm doing. So now it's the point of moving the rest of that over. But he said, those are limiting issues that you have to deal with, whether it be personal or otherwise. But a lot of times it's that you know you needed to get something done, and that thing is weighing on your head, which keeps you going. It could be a spouse who's not totally involved, or it could be anything like that. How you got to get to the point where you can deal with those issues, and then the doors will begin to open for you. But the biggest one he said was, what's your calendar look like? If your calendar's empty, you're not making any money. If your calendar's full, you still not be making money, but you may be on the road to making money. And that journey is still as important as when it finally breaks loose. So what your calendar looks like is real important. So this was like the last day, and he talked about 3 different areas. The first one was mindset. And we've heard the word mindset. It's kind of the buzzword this way. And everybody talked about the same 3 things: obsession, passion, and consistency. When those of you that know him, Rob Dyrdek, the ridiculous guy from Ridiculousness, and Robin Big, and Daniel Negreanu, one of the top pro poker players in the world, Tony Robbins, Pitbull. Every single one of them talked about obsession, passion, and consistency. Okay, obsession and passion come first, and then consistency comes second. If you keep the first 2 in lock, and the third one you even begin to do, and you continue on for a period of time, your mindset changes. What goes on in that head changes as it goes along. The limiting factors start to disappear. Okay? Then it moved on to the second one, which were skills. Knowing about your company, going to the trainings, going to events, and and communication. That's communication between all of us, communication with the company, and everything else. The events, going to convention, and everything else. And then, of course, understanding the training from the company and also what the company stands for. Okay, and the third one was strategy, and this is where really the last day really kicked in. With strategy, do you have a game plan? This is not goals. It's a game plan. It's a game plan of what you're going to say, how many times you're going to say it. What is your actual game plan? Okay, what kind of culture, and you start from today, what kind of culture do you want your team to have? It's part of your goals. It's part of your mission statement that you really need to have. What do you want the culture to be? It's not that I just want everybody to love each other and this and that. No, what kind of culture do you really want? Do you really want them to focus on products or recruiting or sales or sell the other products and that? It will grow from there, but you have a beginning culture, and then as your team starts to blossom and flower, it may go a different direction, but your culture is still going to be there because you have it in place. And then really take the moment and start to write down how you're going to lead your team. What are the qualities that you're going to possess, you believe that you're going to possess when you get that team, and how are you going to lead? And it really goes from one end to the other. And as you can see this, as those of us have been in a long time, this is the true line of what's going to happen. You got to set the mindset. You got to get them obsessed. You got to show them a passion, and then you got to give them the skills. It's probably my weakest area is skills. And then build the game plan. Okay, build the game plan of how you're planning to get there, how many bodies you have to do. Okay, don't know if I have a slide. Oh, here we go. So all of you should be able to have the chat room. Oh, where'd it go? I'm going to stop share. Okay, so does everybody have a chat room? The chat thing? Oh, there's my finger. Okay. So this was the super duper eye opener, especially when you're talking about limiting beliefs. Okay. He really talked a lot about the last day about your limiting beliefs. Okay. So I'm going to throw this out here right now, and you're going to type in a number. It's the first number that comes to your head. Okay. How much money do you want to make in 2018 from Trinon? Okay. Type it right in there. A month. How much do you want to make a month? I got 4. Anybody else? 3,000. Okay. 15,000. Okay. Okay. Now, You're going to take that number and divide it by 12. Is that right? Oh, I put in the wrong number. 5,000 was what I put down. Okay. So 5,000, what's 5,000 times 12? That's 60 grand a year. Okay. So Elizabeth, how much? How much would you make in a year? Okay. See everybody else.
Can you repeat that one more time, the last part?
Okay, turn it into a yearly salary.
Okay.
Sorry. Since you're right there and you're probably unmiked, Mike, where was yours? I missed yours.
Oh, mine is at 7, so I'm at 84.
84. Why do you think 84?
Why do I think 84? Well, I mean, obviously that's just a multiplication of 7, but why I've had the number 7 in my mind? That's a good question. I've always had that as a goal of mine. Maybe it's a little bit of a limitation because I don't know. I don't know why I've always just had that as a goal consistently, to meet that from a network marketing perspective.
So what I want you to do now is I want you to quickly get that number in your head and I want you to double it and type it in the box. Since Elizabeth has the biggest number, when you type that number, what did you feel, Elizabeth?
Scared. Honestly.
How many by a raise of hands felt scared when that number came up?
I almost feel like crying. Why are you doing this? That's
right there. Right there, that feeling you have, that scared, that's the limiting belief.
Yeah.
It creeped in. The first number was no problem because you can actually, in some ways, you can see that number. But why are you limiting yourself to that number? So I'm just going to use mine for example. So and this is great because Mike had just sent me the new compensation plan. So I had it right in front of me. It was right there. I just flipped it up and I could barely see the numbers with my old eyes. I'm like this looking at the screen trying to figure out the numbers. So I said, he's telling me that, and it was right. As soon as I don't have that feeling anymore when I type that number of $100,000. Okay. Mike said, I just peed my pants. I love it. That limiting belief left when he said, why do you limit yourself to such a small number? And if that 360 is your number and you go for it and you only make 200,000, I don't think that you're going to be upset. You're not going to be upset. But we limit ourselves to, let's say, $10,000 a month. And when I put it down $5,000 a month. And when I had to put $10,000 a month, I felt really bad. But then he said, now tell me that in a year. And he said 120,000. I was like, oh my gosh. And the lady next to me is a 6-figure earner. And her number was $3 million. And she was shaking. And he says, it is a limiting belief. Why are we limiting ourselves to just that small number? And everybody put in relatively small number because of where we're at. But what about that limiting belief? That scare, when you get that scared feeling, that's that limiting belief that you got to stop having. Now, Liz, do you know what it's going to take for you to be at $360,000 a year?
A lot.
What level do you have to be?
For 360? Yeah. See, I would have to look at it. I don't even know.
So for mine, I have to get to RFS, the new RFS. I need to have 50,000 points in the bank. And then there's one last step. How many people do you believe that you're going to have to prospect and bring in to get to that number? And he says, really and truly, your magic number is 10%. You're looking to bring in 10%. So mine was 50,000 points. Okay. Or was it 1%? Or he said, you're probably going to need to bring in 50 people. That's 5,000 points. And then everybody else has to do their part. And we start to build a team. It may be more, it may be less, but my magic number now is 50. If I get to 50, I'm at 5,000, but minimum 5,000 points. Plus, with everything else that's going on, who knows where I'll be at. And then you go down the road, and how many of those 50, somebody's going to take off and do a few. If I get everybody to do 3, now how many do I have? I now have 150 in my thing. I have 15,000. Any one of those go off, I'm getting closer and closer. But he said, you're probably looking at, if your point total is 50, you probably need 50 bodies. You're shooting for 50 bodies and see where you're at. And then after that, then all of a sudden, now you can set your goal for your next thing. Because if you got 50 bodies and you know what you're doing and you're feeling good. So that was the biggest takeaway from last thing Eric Worre said. Set the game plan, get your stuff together, do these little things. But then he dropped this bomb on it. It was like, we're all just sitting around going, wow. Because everybody around me had put like low numbers. Because you really don't know how much everybody's making. But there was a whole bunch of 6-figure earners in that room already. From where I was sitting in the VIP, there had to be 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 6-figure and above earners in the room. So there's money out there to be made. It's just a matter of getting over that hump. But see, this is all about the expectation. I've now set an expectation of 50 bodies. I got to bring in 50 people. So in a year, how many is that now? That's a little over 5 a month. That's it. So if I bring in 5 a month, I have 50. Of that, who knows where else from everybody, or where everybody else goes? Who knows how many points I'll have? I could be the 2FC before RFS. Hey, I'm not going to be crying at that. But that's $10,000 a month, approximately. So that's it for me.
Wow, that was awesome, Jeff. My God, these incredible.
There is one more thing.
Everybody unmute themselves right now and just give Jeff a round of applause.
There's one more thing for everybody that's here. Okay, the lady, the neatest thing about these events is that you start to meet people that are really, really just amazing people. You never really talk to them because they're in other businesses and so on and so forth. But the lady I was sitting next just had cancer surgery, and she had a lobectomy. And it had only been like 3 weeks, and she was there ready to go. So, I mean, to me, she was my hero for the weekend, because I don't know if I could have done that. But she bought 100 tickets last year for GoPro, okay? And she could only sell 70, so she's got 30 tickets at a discount price, okay? I'm not sure what the price is. You're looking between $300 and $400. Now, remember, every bit of this is tax deductible. Okay. It's in Vegas next year. It's at the MGM Grand. It's being upgraded again to an arena. The first guest speaker that they've said, and they'll have different ones as they go on. First guest speaker is Magic Johnson. So I am stoked about that. The tickets generally run about $700. So if I share the screen again, I had it up. Share screen. So if I bring this up here. It's December 4th through the 6th. It's at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And you can see that the tickets are generally $747, but you can get them for $497. We're probably going to be in this range, and maybe even a little bit less, because there are extra tickets. We're trying to hone in on the price now. And then I upgraded to this last year, this year, which was wonderful. I was gold the year before, and this year I was VIP, and it was well worth it. They fed you a couple times. You got a VIP bag and VIP registration. You get to go in earlier than everybody else. It's expensive, but it's all tax write-off. And then I'll get the prices. We'd love to have a team go with us next year, especially to see Magic Johnson, because he's an amazing speaker. And it's 3 days. And let me put it this way. The nuggets I gave you are nothing compared to the weekend, are nothing compared to being there in person and meeting people that are making more money than they know what to do with, from all different countries, all different areas. Australia had a large contingent. I mean, think of it this way. You're paying $397. Imagine how much it costs to come from Australia to get there. But there's just some good thing. And if you haven't listened to anything from Eric Roy, go to GoPro and type in GoPro Eric Roy and sign up for his podcast and his other stuff, because he has got some great nuggets. They're just on basic network marketing stuff, nothing business wise. It's all business, but it's that handling objections and talking to people. And he has different interviews with like Tony Robbins and Pitbull and other major leaders. So that's it for me. As soon as I get that price, I'm going to put together a flyer for us and see how many people want to go. We want to talk to our prospects about going. We get a big group together. It'll be a blast. I'm tired of going by myself. I'm pushing it to my team as they come on, and I'm talk to you guys about getting it done. The thing about it is, though, it's right near the end of the year, and what it does is it really, really, really sets you up for next year. And I can see where they're talking about the idea that if you get people to go to GoPro, they'll be easily, you can easily put $1,000 into your business from each person that goes, just because it's hard not to walk out there and going, oh man, I can do this. Oh man, I can do this. Oh man, I can do this. And there's different speakers every year. So Tony Robbins came back twice, especially because Pitbull was coming this time. But I will, anybody that's interested in a ticket, hit me on Messenger. And then as soon as the price comes up, then we can figure out how we're going to do this. But I'm going again next year, because it's just such an impactful weekend. It's such a positive weekend, and it's phenomenal. So that's it for me. Any questions?
Jeff, Liz, you're actually muted right now. I can hear you talking.
That was so awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much. So if you guys, anybody have like any questions or anything on what the training or anything or GoPro, whatever that Jeff covered?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
All very straightforward, man. Jeff, I can't thank you enough, dude. It was interesting, all those exercises you told us to do. We need to do more stuff like that. That's definitely something that we need to take advantage of. And Jeff, you're an amazing trainer, dude. I had no idea you had this kind of training inside of you, or even like just this demeanor. I had no clue, man. It's amazing, the hidden talent that we have on this team. So, man, we got to get you to do some more. And yeah, you captured everyone's attention. I love it.
Yeah, it's 38 years of coaching.
Wow. That's amazing.
Great stuff, Jeff. That was really impressive.
Yeah, and imagine that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Truly appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
No problem. Cool. All right, guys. Have a good evening. Let's go out there and rock and roll.
Yeah.
So much, Jeff. Hey, when you get a chance, Jeff, can you? Is there a way you could upload this recording to YouTube, and then we'll send it out to the team for those?
I will get it done ASAP.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Talk to you soon. All righty.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.